This is Mitch, and welcome to the 1000 Houses podcast. I'm here with Coach Pat Martin.
Mitch, I picked up a house in Pennsylvania, and this house, I picked it up 2 days before it was going to auction. So I get the homeowner on the phone, and I asked him, "What are your goals and desires? What do you want to do? It's going to auction in 2 days. What is your game plan?" And I said, "Would you like to know what I would do if I were you? I can't tell you what to do, but I've done this, and this is what I would do. But you'd have to ask me." And so Mitch, well, what would you do? I would file what's called an emergency bankruptcy petition, emergency petition bankruptcy application, and get it filled out so I could block the auction. So the next day we call, he says, "Oh, that sounds great." The next day we call him up. He goes, "Oh, it's not worth it for me. The bank's going to let me live there for 21 days. I'm like, "Ooh, I love that. I love that phrase. It's not worth it to me. So what would make it worth it?" And so Mitch, I said, "Would $1,500 make it worth it for you? And how would you like to live there for 3 months, or almost 3 months, and instead of just 21 days? Would that be worth it?" And the guy was like, "Absolutely." He blocks the auction. We go under contract with him. I'm now negotiating with this lender to do a reinstatement and a recast. Come to find out, Mitch, he's got a guest house out back that he rents for $600 or $550 a month. And his PITI is $950. And we negotiated with him to clean up the guest house out back. We know that we can get $600 to $700 a month rent for it. He's painting it as we speak. We think we can rent both of them out. Our profit is going to be $2,800 to $2,900, and PITI is only $950 a month. So we're looking at between $1,800 to $2,000 a month cash flow profit on this. And we'll reinstate the loan. As soon as we get the reinstatement, we'll go ahead and pick it up as a sub-2, file the deed, pay the transfer tax. And this guy, he's already planning to move out of the home. Now, I'm not kicking him out. He told me what he wanted to do.
Yeah. And so let me ask you, in most cases, when you, what do you have to give the owner to get them to let you get a master lease or a lease with the right to sublease? What are you offering them? Just as little as you can, or you're offering to take it with all its defects and imperfections, or what?
$10 in most, just the binder fee on the contract. And by the way, I deal with vacant houses. This one just happened to be an anomaly because we actually marketed the guy thinking that he'd already moved out, and he's got an auction day in 2 days. And he goes, "Hey," we asked him what he was going to do, and he says, "Well, his significant other, really common law wife, her credit is in good shape, and so they're looking to move, and they want to buy another house, and say goodbye to this one." We're like, "Okay, I'm all ears." But typically, Mitch, it's a vacant house, and by the way, I hate that the divorce rates in the United States are like at 60% or better. So it doesn't matter whether the market's going up or going down, divorce rates are always climbing a little bit at a time. So that means typically the wife, or the wife, now the ex-wife, winds up with the house. She can't afford to stay there, and she ends up moving out, vacating the house, and she can't afford to pay for a foreclosure defense. So she vacates the home. We approach her and say, "We'd like to rent the home out." Now, if I rent it from her, I use 20. I'd like 25. My goal is $2,000 to $4,500 a month. That's my bread and butter range for rental properties. So if I rent one for $2,500, to my tenant, I'm paying about $600 a month to my landlord, the homeowner, and they don't have to fix it up, clean it up, maintain it, tune up ACs. I catch up paying the back payments on HOAs. I negotiate with them, and now, if I have a vested interest, not equitable, if I have a contract to rent the property, attorneys can do foreclosure defense for me just the same as they can do for the owner. And so out of our profit, we'll pay for foreclosure defense. And the longest one I've been able to jam up the foreclosure process for has been 12 years, Mitch.
All right, you guys, if you want to learn more about this, rent it and then rent it out to someone else, or rent it with the right to sublease, lease it with the right to sublease. Go to 1000houses.com/Coach Pat and check it out. That'll take, when you go to that link, you'll go over to the show notes. If we've talked about anything in this podcast, there'll be more information. There'll be contact information for Coach Pat. You'll probably see about this book, Pre-Foreclosure Rental Profits, and get an angle. When you first start out in this business, if you're like 99% of all of us, you're starting out dead broke. You don't have 2 nickels to rub together. So you got to find these strategies that work with little to no money till you can get a leg up, and there are plenty of these strategies. Here's one I have never talked about on my 540 podcast interviews. So I think this is a real, I was excited about this because I was like, wow, I'm not going to be rehashing some of the same stuff with a different angle, but this is just completely different stuff. So check it out. Think about leasing houses with the right to sublease. That's what I'm trying to say. So also I want you to check out the course. If you go through that link, 1000houses.com/Coach Pat, you're going to save like $1,500, and that's it's not unusual that all us podcasters and real estate guys, we always give a discount to the other coaches if they'll introduce us to their audiences, which is what he's doing. It's not any big secret. If he's just going to meet one person, the price is $2,500. But if he's going to meet a whole bunch of people, by the way, I get 30,000 downloads a month. So I'm not saying you'll get 30,000, but my package of 500 and whatever podcasts, they get downloaded about 30,000 episodes a month. So that's why you offer a discount to come on the shows and help. I help my audience, and he gets introduced to a lot more people. So that's what it's all about.
Mitch, can I share with you? As soon as I got back from South America, I wanted, I was doing it virtually before, and I got a program that I could download and put in my parameters of the houses I'm looking for. I put in the zip code or the town, pre-foreclosure, vacant, and so I populated it with about 2,000 addresses. And then I took those addresses and I downloaded that into a skip trace program, and now I wound up with the phone numbers. Then, if you want to know how easy this was, guys, I'm a boomer. I'm probably the same age as Mitch. We're both very handsome with gray beards, okay? And look, if I can do, and then I found a call program called Zen Call or something like that, and I took all those phone numbers and put it in there, and I plugged in my earpiece and plugged it this thing here. I plugged in the side of my computer and I hit the enter button and it started dialing like 20 or 25 numbers at a time. And I did 4 30-minute sessions and I picked up 2 houses. Check this out. One house I rented for $2,500 a month, the other one $1,800 a month. And I've rented them out now for the past year and a half since I've been back from Ecuador. Because the market has gone up, I got the payoff on the first house, Mitch. The payoff is $273,000, and I asked the realtor, "What do you think we should list it for?" She goes, $334,000. We got an offer just under contract last week at $360,000. The payoff is $264,000, and I got an offer with the hedge fund, $360,000, and they want to keep my tenant. The other house I rent for $2,500 a month, Mitch. Payoff is by the way, last summer it was underwater, but because the market's gone up, Mitch, payoff is $463,000. I got an offer at $560,000 on it.
Wow. Close to 100 grand profit. I mean, you got a few expenses out there, but good enough, as Ron LeGrand would say.
That's good enough for me, baby.
What's that rate of return? Let me get my calculator. good enough.
Well, and you know what? I've been renting them between the two houses. I've made, somewhere in that 60,000 range just on the rent income. And now I'm able to, and by the way, I went back to the owner and I got it's a lease option with the right to sublet. So my lease option allows me to purchase it from them.
Opens the conversation, right? Who else would they rather sell it to than the guy that's been sending them payments all this time?
Every month, man, they love me because they weren't getting anything from it. And I cleaned them up. I took care of the HOA fees because those HOA fees were gonna go against their credit. So they're gone. I negotiated those down. I paid them off.
Okay, so are they usually behind in the payments? So you've got to give up some of that money to get the payments caught up, or are you trying to find ones that aren't that far behind?
No, it doesn't matter. And here, I'll give you an idea. I don't start paying rent to my homeowner landlord until after 90 days, starting on month 4. So I'm able to collect my first, last, and my use and occupancy up front, plus the next 3 or 4 months. So I've made,
you can solve some issues with that. If you have some left over, you're left over. If not,
but you $12,000 to $15,000 in profit up front before I start paying rent. That takes care of an air conditioning unit or tuning it up and some HOA fees.
Yeah. Well, man, this has been a very interesting conversation. What would you like to say to some of the newbies out there that maybe they're just dreaming about going on this journey? What would you say to them?
Guys, people ask me, Mitch, well, how much does it cost? And I said, it doesn't cost much compared to what you'll get on your very first deal. What if you go out and get one deal a month and you're renting them out for $2,500 a month in 12 months? That's 12 deals. If you look at the profit after you pay your rent to the homeowner on that 12th month, if you just got one deal a month, guys, that's like working an hour, 2 hours a month. On 12 months, you got 12 deals, you're bringing in over 20 grand a month. So if you don't have good credit and you don't have money to rehab, you've got no excuses, because it's only a $10 binder fee. Unless you go to California, it's a $100 binder fee out there. There might be a couple other states, Mitch, it might be 20 or 25 bucks on the binder fee. But listen to me, you got no excuse. You don't need your credit. And if you got 10 bucks, you can be successful in using this as another tool in your tool belt. Even if all you did was rent it out and not did a recast or a sub-2 or do a negotiated settlement with opposing counsel and pay that off and did a fine fix or flip, whatever you want to do, and using private money because you're connected to Mitch and you got all kinds of private money out there to pick it up and do private money and do whatever you want to do with it. You can do this without any of your own money or your own credit. And it's as easy as that. If I can do this and I stumble across it, Mitch, you can do it. Any one of your student clients out there can do this as well.
That's kind of brilliant, because it's actually another offer to make when you want to buy the house. But if they can't buy it or you can't agree on the price, or maybe you're just smarter to go out in front and say, look, let me rent that house in its disrepair, like right now as it is, for this price, this little price per month, this little fee. And that's what a great in. It's a great in to and you don't care if they want to keep just accepting that little fee month after month, year after year, or if they want to sell it to you at a decent price, you'll do that too, whatever they want to do.
It's just Mitch, we're marketing for homes, and when we get homes like this, instead of throwing them out and say, oh, that's not what I'm looking for, roll that back in. You've got a tool that you can actually create an income stream, solve a problem, be a blessing to that homeowner, put cash in their pocket, and also have a nice monthly cash flow yourself, and let somebody else clean it up. Let your tenant clean it up.
There you go. I like that. That's why I like the seller finance strategy myself, because I can sell the house with the hole in the roof. I'll finance the house and the hole for 30 years at 10%. And, and then that's to me, one of the best strategies in the creative real estate industry is buy it, don't fix it, seller finance it for double, and watch the guy making payments to you go over budget, rehabbing your collateral. I mean, that's like, to me, the most beautiful plan in the world. I buy the house at 8 in the morning. It's for sale at 12:30 or one right after lunch. I go get lunch. I go put it up for sale.
Amen
And
to that, bro.
because when you're seller financing, you don't need an inspection report. I mean, I'm going to sell it with the 4 broken windows, the missing front door, and the hole in the roof for this price. You can fix it, make it whatever you want.
Amen.
And so I like that. I like that a lot. Well, my friend, it's been really nice. Make sure you go over to 1000houses.com/Coach Pat, P-A-T. Check it out. Take advantage of that offer. It's a real offer. It sells it for $2,500 more or less all day long, and you can get it for a little less than $1,000. Doesn't take much to make back $1,000 if you get the right information, and you got to get your butt off the sofa. So if you plan on keeping your butt on the sofa, don't waste your time, just move along. But if you've had enough, if I've had enough is pegged over in the red, if that meter is pegged over there, you're going to have to get in front of somebody and figure out how to get out of this mess that you're in, where you've got a ceiling and they won't let you make any money, and they tell you what to wear every morning, and they tell you when you can go to your kid's basketball game, and they tell you how long you can stay on vacation. They tell you how much money you can make. If you've had enough of that crap, then take a chance on someone. Coach Pat might be just the right guy for you, because he just described to you a strategy that requires some of your time, and some of you're going to have to kind of be an expert, but it won't take any money to speak of. You know what I mean?
Amen.
It won't take any money to speak of. And that's where we all started, in some strategy that we figured out that didn't take any money, any real money. Everything takes a little money. I hate those people that split hairs. Well, it costs money to drive gas, to drive. I mean, you know what? Move along. You're just looking for excuses now, because, it costs money to sleep, brother. It costs money to sleep. And if you don't believe me, just stay in bed for about 15 days and you will have to get up and buy some food. You will have to.
Amen, man.
All right. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. And please keep up your good work. I think the people that do show up to learn from you, I think you have always have your heart in the right place, because you're a servant and you have a servant's attitude. I could have made a lot of money yanking the rug from under people that were a couple of days late or whatever. But even in COVID, the ones that legitimately got hurt, and they had always been good, and I could figure out that they weren't lying to me or weren't trying to scam me, I would just take their payments and put it on the end, and we'll start over again, because I didn't want to take those people's 20 grand that they gave me down, and the improvements they did, and the 2 years worth of appreciation. They had $60,000, $70,000 to lose that I could have profited from. But I'm not in this business to take things away from people. The business has been really good to me, been way good to me, better than you might ever know. And I think sometimes in this business you can get around the wrong people, and then they can use these strategies and sometimes take advantage of people. And I don't think that's going to happen with Coach Pat, because that's not this man is a giver to the end. So I really like that you would have a man like him as your coach, because he's centered, he's grounded, and he's got a belief in God and the right thing. So that's a good place. That's a good classroom to be in, no matter what you're trying to learn, is to have a teacher like that. You know what I mean? So then they won't steer you wrong.
Mitch, the 2 houses that I picked up that I was sharing with you that we're selling, we have them under contract. I have a contract that allows me to make all the profit, but I like the homeowner, and he's gone through hell and high water in a divorce. So you know what I told him? Hey, we sell them, we'll split it 50-50. That'd be okay with you. And I tell you what, Mitch, this guy loves me. And
I bet.
Like, are you kidding me? He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm just happy that you figure out a way to keep him from going to the foreclosure auction.
Yeah, now he's going to make some money. You don't have to glean the field. If you glean the field all the time, it kind of comes around, goes around. You've got to be careful.
Well, now
you don't have to glean the field.
He wants to hunt down properties for me.
See, there it is. It's already started. It's already started. That karma thing. Always there. All right, my friend. It's been a pleasure. This is Mitch Stephen with 1000houses.com. One last time, 1000houses.com/Coach Pat. Go over there, check it out. Check out his book, Pre-Foreclosure Rental Profits. Get in contact, see what it's about. You won't go anywhere if you don't take a chance, if you don't get out there and start moving and hustling a little bit. So go out there and do it. I'd also like to thank livecom.com, LIVECOMM.com. I have no signs in front of my houses. I'm selling my seller financed houses with no signs, and I'm selling them. The last 200 averaged 4 days on the market. You can learn how I do that. It's very inexpensive. It's almost, I used to laugh. I used to pay thousands of dollars a month for classified ads. Now I can reach the whole world that doesn't cost anything, hard pennies. So check it out, livecom.com. You can watch the video on the homepage, and you can check out all the videos I have there. LIVECOMM.com. Learn how smart phone numbers can change your life and make selling things, not just houses, but services, pools, whatever. It can really shortcut your sales process and cut your advertising budgets down to nothing. Livecom.com. All right, we're out of here.